You've prepared by working very hard, staying up late at night, gathering all the information required about the company, about the profile, for that perfect job opportunity. You filled out an amazing application and perhaps smashed it at the interview. And whilst you're waiting to progress to the next round or perhaps get selected, all you get is an email which starts with, "We regret to inform you." The disappointment is real and the rejection stings. But what if I told you this rejection is not the dead end, but just a redirection when seen with the eyes of faith? Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Ashford, and together we explore growth personally, professionally, and spiritually. Now, at different stages of life, we are all applying for jobs. And while much is spoken about a job application, handling job rejections and career setbacks is rarely discussed. And that's exactly why I'm making this video. I've been on the other side and experienced rejection, so I know the pain. While I cannot do anything to take away your pain, I can perhaps help you see rejection in a new light, one that might just change the way you feel about it. So stick around as we understand rejection, reframe our mindset and perspective, and turn setbacks into opportunities. And by the end of the video, I'll share with you 3 daily practices which will help strengthen your faith and you can move forward with confidence. So let's dive in. Understand rejection. When you apply for a job, you must understand that like you, there are many others applying for the same job, and there might be a few or a single position available. The first thing to understand that rejection is not a sign of your failure. You are unique and valuable for who you are. And in case of the job, you just did not fit the bill. You are still the same person and nothing has changed except for the way that you are perhaps feeling because of the rejection. But know that feelings are temporary, they come and go. But what stays with you is your skill set, your talents and your knowledge, and you can make them better. It's natural to feel discouraged when faced with rejection. It makes us question our abilities, it shakes our confidence, and in worst cases, it can even take us to the point of despair. But each one of us is called to trust in divine providence. And rather than seeing rejection as a sign of failure, can perhaps see it as divine redirection, in a way in which God is leading us to opportunities that are aligned towards His plan for our life. And Jeremiah 29:11 reminds us, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." This verse is a powerful reassurance that even when life feels uncertain, God does not change His plan. Sometimes a closed door is God's way of protecting us from something that isn't meant to be. And a setback can be seen as divine intervention, protecting us from walking into situations that are not aligned with our true calling. While we may not always know why certain opportunities do not work out, faith assures us that something better is being prepared. Now, trusting in God's wisdom allows us to move forward with peace, knowing that every rejection is a step closer in the right path. But this can only happen when you change your perspective to seeing the glass half full and not half empty, which leads us to the next point. Reframe your mindset and perspective. Rejections can often trigger our emotions and surface feelings of self-doubt and fear. Now, these emotions can cloud our judgment and distort our perspective because they make us question our abilities and our skills and our talents. So the best way forward is to not act and wait till these emotions subside or go away. And once you're in a better frame of mind, you can begin with your perspective. Now, there's a lot of difference in how you respond to things, positively or negatively. If asked, "How are you?" how will you respond? Would you say, "I'm fine, thank you"? Or would you say, "Not too bad"? While the former focuses on the positive, the latter is negative. And when you approach things positively, rather than seeing things as a loss, you will look at it as a lesson. And this makes a huge difference. Because instead of seeing your situation as a loss, you will see it as a lesson, opportunity to grow stronger, refine your skills, and build a deeper trust in God. Rejections can lead to a victim mindset, keeping you stuck where you are and making it absolutely difficult to change. But there is a solution. Instead of dwelling on "why me?", change your perspective to what's next. Every challenge presents an opportunity for growth, and every rejection can lead to a path of unexpected blessings. Now, focusing on what lies ahead rather than what went wrong allows you to remain hopeful, take proactive steps, and stay open to God's greater plan for your life. Turning setbacks into opportunities. So far, we've seen and understood that a delay or denial can be an invitation to reframe how we see things. It's a good time to learn something new, hone your skills, and strengthen your faith. whilst preparing for a bigger breakthrough. And here are a few practical ways of what you can do when faced with rejections or career setbacks. Number 1, feedback. When faced with rejections, ask for feedback. Now, depending on the situation you are in, you may or may not get this feedback. In that case, speak to another colleague or perhaps a college professor or even a friend who can be downright honest with you. Now, honesty is very important, but honesty is not condescending. It is constructive. Assess the feedback you receive carefully. Identifying key areas for improvement. Use it as a tool for growth, refining your skills, enhancing your resume, or even improving your interview techniques. And if you are struggling to get any feedback, then I would suggest seek professional help, either from a life or career coach, to gain new insights. Step number 2 is to take action. Now that you've received the feedback, you have something to work with. And this is where you take action. You can expand your skill sets or take additional training to enhance your current qualification, therefore increasing your competitiveness in the job market. Take advantage of online courses, certification and workshops, or even mentorship programs that align with your career goals. Investing in continuous learning not only boosts your confidence, but also opens doors to new opportunities, ones that may not have been accessible before. Another important action is networking. Now, to many of us, this word can have different connotation, but essentially networking is building relationships. And the best relationships are built on trust, integrity, and mutual success. If you need help, just ask for it. Because as people, we are all good. And there is an innate desire in each one of us to help. Now, the worst outcome can be someone saying no. In that case, don't judge that person. Simply move on to the next person who probably will be willing to help. A good network of people can guide you through challenging times and open doors to unexpected opportunities. Startup. Your jobs are good as they provide an income, which in turn brings about stability. But as you assess your feedback, you may want to consider starting a trade or a business. Now, this is seldom spoken about because for most of the world, having a job equals security. However, the world is changing as we speak and changing at a rapid pace. There is no secure job, not even in governments, because they change too. In today's day and age, starting up will give you more experience than a corporate gig and teach you value better than a study curriculum. Now, starting up does not mean you go and register a company and say you started up. Think of real world problems and what solutions you can bring to the table. And this need not necessarily be $1 million idea. You can start small by identifying what services are needed in your neighborhood. Now, if you have the skill set, go show up and say, I can do this. And if not, perhaps you can find other people who have those skill sets or businesses and in turn open an agency business. Each one of us comes to this world bearing gifts, but these gifts are not for us. They are to be given away. So untie yours as you start up. What we perceive as delay is often divine preparation, an intentional season where God gives us the time to realign ourselves with His greater purpose. In these moments of waiting, we are being shaped for opportunities that will truly fulfill His plan for our lives. And I'm reminded of Joseph here from the book of Genesis. He was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, wrongfully accused, sent into prison. Yet eventually, he went on to become Pharaoh's right-hand man. He faced setbacks all through his life, but each setback led him ultimately to his divine purpose. Similarly, just because something isn't happening right now does not mean it never will. Delays are not denials. In fact, they're just periods of preparation. Sometimes an unanswered prayer is God's way of ensuring that when the right opportunity comes, you will be fully prepared to embrace it. Now, patience is one of the hardest virtues to cultivate, especially when uncertainty clouds our path and waiting can be discouraging. But it is not a passive experience. Used wisely, this time of waiting can be a season of refinement and preparation. And therefore, embracing patience means finding peace in the process and not frustration in the wait. And as promised, here are 3 daily practices to strengthen your faith so that you can move forward with confidence. Number 1 is prayer. Spend time in prayer as you talk to God. Tell Him all that is in your hearts. Share with Him your worries, your plans. Ask Him for His wisdom and guidance in all that you do. Number 2 is gratitude. Now, focusing on what you have rather than what you lack is the attitude for gratitude. Also, keeping a gratitude journal will help remind you of God's provision and faithfulness from time to time. And number three is community. Surround yourself with goodwill people who will uplift you and remind you of God's promises. A strong support system goes a long way, especially when discouragement is trying to creep in. Rejections and career setbacks are not the end of your journey, they're just part of it. And each no is leading to a better yes. Each setback refines your character, strengthens your faith, and equips you to something bigger and better as long as you are willing to trust the process. So hold on tight because your breakthrough is coming at the right time in the right way. I hope you found this video helpful. And if you have, then please like this video and share it with someone who's going through a phase of job rejections and career setbacks. Also, tell me in the comments below, how are you dealing with such setbacks and rejections? Because on this channel, we are here to learn and grow together. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers and God bless.